Welcome to Shankar Solution. Today our topic is replacement. It is a chapter on accountancy and it is under double account system. Okay. In any public concern like electricity company, sometimes large sums are spent on an old asset representing partly on extension and partly on replacement. But it is not known how much amount has been spent on replacement and how much on extension. Okay, so I want to say in any public concern like electricity companies, a huge expenditure they have incurred for like any substation, any plant, etc., and for replacement of an old asset. Okay, but our problem is that how there are two part, one for replacement and another part is for extension. But our problem is that we try to understand how much amount has been spent on replacement and how much on extension. That is the main criteria. Okay, so an amount equal to the present cost of replacing the original asset is charged to revenue account, and the balance of the expenditure is regarded as the cost of extension, therefore capitalized. Okay, so how we solve? The replacing the original asset at current cost is charged to revenue account, and balance the expenditure is regarded as the cost of extension is called capitalized. Okay, so there are solving the problem we have to go through two parts. First part is known as our working and next part is our accounting treatment. Okay, so first is working. What are there are four workings we have to do. First, the cost of replacement of old plant. Okay, what is that? That material, labor and overhead. Suppose in any expenditure in as per accounts or costing, we have divided it into three parts. That is material, labor and overhead, and that comes to our cost of replacement, but it comes to after adjustment at current cost. It means that suppose we want to make similar asset or similar plant or similar substation at the current cost, is what is the expenditure we have to incur? That is called the cost of replacement. Okay, this is our first working. Next, our second working, cost of improvement. It is what? It is cost incurred in cash and in kind. Okay, that comes to our first calculation, and from that we have deducting the cost of replacement that we have calculated in one, that is deducted, then we got the cost of improvement. Okay, after these two we come to our next calculation point, calculation number 3, that is capitalized value. Okay, so what amount to be capitalized? Here we have to consider 2 points, two things, that is cost of improvement and old capacity wise proportionate current expenditure, that is cash and kind, that we have to consider. And out of these two, whichever is lower amount is called capitalized value. So what point we have to consider? We have to consider cost of improvement that we have already calculated in point number 2, and thereafter old capacity wise proportionate current expenditure. Suppose through this extension or through this construction work, our capacity has been increased by 50%. So 50% of the current expenditure we have to consider at this point number B. So but we have to, out of these two, the lower amount we have to consider as capitalized value. Okay, now if the problem is silent regarding change in capacity, then cost of improvement is considered as capitalized value. So what is that? If the capacity or capacity increment of capacity is not there, is not given in the problem, so we consider cost of improvement equal to the capitalized value, assuming that the capacity remains same. Okay. Next, our last calculation, amount written off from revenue, that is current cost in cash plus in kind. That's 2 points are considered, and thereafter we deduct the capitalized value, and from this point we have to deduct value of old or scrap material used and sold. Suppose in a old plant, after demolishing it, we get some material, or we get some iron, steel rod, etc., that comes to that may be applied for the production of today current reconstruction, or it may be sold. So these two are also deducted from that, and from this we come to amount written off from revenue. These are the four calculation we have to consider. Next come to our accounting entry or journal entry. So there are more or less five entries we have to do. First one is for the cash expenses. That's expenses incurred by us in regarding through bank account or whatever cash expenses. That goes to replacement account debit to bank. This is our first entry. Next point, entry number 2, cost of old material. What is that? Old material, the total old material, that already I have told that regarding any materials realized from demolishing the old plant, the total old value of the old material is coming in this entry, and that comes to old materials account debit to replacement. Okay. Thereafter already has been told that these are the two parts. We are dividing it into two parts. One part is utilized for current reconstruction, and another part is we are sell. That means bank account debit for selling entry, and replacement account debit for which one is used and come to old materials account. Okay. Next, value of the asset capitalized. Here asset or which amount is capitalized, that comes to our calculation number 3. Okay, calculation number 3, we have calculated, that comes to here asset account debit to replacement. And next, our last entry, that revenue account goes to revenue account debit to replacement. It means our calculation number 4, we got it, revenue account debit to replacement. And what is the conclusion? Finally, if we put this entry into the ledger, our replacement account and old materials account must be tallied. Okay, this point must be remembered. Okay, now come to our problem part. We have to do 3 problems in this regard. Hope it will be clear your ideas regarding replacement. Okay, next. Problem number 1. The National Gas Company Limited incurred an expenditure of 7,70,000 to rebuild and re-equip a parts of their works. The part of the old works cost rupees 3 lakhs. The capacity of the new work double the capacity of the old one. Okay. Next, a sum of rupees 60,000 realized by sale of old material and old material of value 30,000 are further used in construction of the new works. The cost of material and the labor has gone up by 30% and 20% respectively since the old works were built. The costs constitute 3/5 of material and balance for labor. So how the expenditure should apportion between capital and revenue, also show the necessary ledger account. Okay. So this is our problem. So here first we come to our working number 1, that is cost of replacement of old plant. Suppose we reconstruct the old plant as on today, what is our expenditure that we have to calculate. In the problem it is given, that is 3/5 on material and balance of labor. And another point is there, that is 30% of labor material cost and 20% of the labor cost has been increased, and old works cost was 3 lakh. So these points are considered in this calculation. So material 3 lakhs into 3 by 5 into 130 by 100, that is 2,34,000, and labor 3 lakhs into 2 by 5 into 120 by 100, that is 1,44,000. So total cost of replacement comes to 3,78,000. Next, cost of improvement, our second calculation. Cost incurred here 7,70,000, that is given in our problem. Next, value of old materials used, that is 30,000. Okay, so these two are added, that comes to 8 lakhs, and thereafter we deduct cost of replacement 3,78,000, and we got cost of improvement is 4,22,000. Next, our calculation number 3. Now come to capitalized value. For capitalized value we have to consider the 2 point, and we are taking the lower amount, whichever is lower. Cost of improvement, that is 4,22,000, and old capacity wise proportionate current expenditure, that is our total expenditure was 8 lakhs, already shown in our calculation, and out of that 50% the capacity has been doubled, that means 50% of 8 lakhs 4 lakhs is 50% of 8 lakhs is 4 lakhs. So out of these two we have considered lower amount, that means 4 lakhs is our capitalized value. Next, come to our fourth calculation, that is amount written off from revenue. Here current total cost is 8 lakhs, already we have considered, and there from that calculation number 3 we got capitalized value is 4 lakhs. So 4 lakhs is balance, and from that we got that 30,000 value of old material used and 60,000 has been sold, that means 90,000. So amount written off from revenue is 3,10,000. Okay. Next, now the journal entry, and here first is expenses incurred. Our total expenses incurred is excluding the excluding only the expenditure made in bank or made in cash or through bank is 7,70,000. So replacement account debit to bank is 7,70,000. Next, there are old materials realized. Here old materials realized is 90,000, 30,000 plus 60,000 equal to 90,000, and old materials account debit to replacement 90,000. Thereafter old material used and sold. We know that we already shown your calculation, 30,000 materials we have used, so replacement account debit to 30,000, and we sold 60,000. Material cost 60,000, sold in the market, therefore bank account debit 60,000, total 90,000. Okay. Next, capitalized value, that is calculation number 3, that is plant account debit to replacement, and at last entry is revenue account debit to replacement, that we have calculated in our number 4. Okay. Then come to the ledger account also. This is the mainly 3 ledgers we have to do of replacement entries. Okay. First is plant account, replacement account, and old materials account. Okay. So in the plant account we know that there our old plant costing was 3 lakhs in our books, so balance BD is 3 lakhs. Next, come to our first entry, that is 7,70,000. What is that? That is expenditure incurred by us, that is 7,70,000, and for this our first debit, that is replacement account debit to bank 7,70,000. Okay. Next, our old materials. So we have shown that old materials account debit to replacement account, that is 90,000, that is our journal entry 2. Thereafter, out of that 90,000 we sold 60,000, so by bank 60,000 and replacement account 30,000, that we are utilized the material. So this is accounting number 3. Next, our amount to be capitalized, that means we transferred to our plant account 4 lakhs rupees. So plant account debit to replacement, these two entries, and at last our revenue account, that amount charged to revenue, that is 3,10,000, that is our 5th entry. Okay, and finally that we have seen that replacement account and old materials account are tallied, and for the plant there was a 3 lakhs plus 4 lakhs, that is 7 lakhs was the balance. That is the our plant account balance. Okay, this is our first problem, it is completed. Okay, next, this is our problem number 2. Okay, Kalyani Water Works Company Limited decides to replace an old plant with a modern one with larger capacity. The cost of plant when installed in 2010 was rupees 24 lakhs. The component of material, labor and overhead are being in the ratio 5:3:2. It is ascertained that the cost of materials and the labor have been gone up by 40% and 80% respectively. The proportion of overheads to total cost is expected to remain same as before. The cost of the new plant for improved design is 60 lakhs, and in addition materials of the old plant of 2,40,000 have been used in the reconstruction of new plant. The old plant scrapped and sold rupees 7,50,000. The accounts of the company are maintained under double account system. Determine the amount to be capitalized and the amount charged to revenue. Also show the journal entries and the ledger account. Okay, so this is our problem. In this problem it is given that in 2010 that plant was constructed and at a cost of rupees 24 lakhs, and at that time their ratio of material, labor and overhead is 5:3:2. Okay, and material cost has been gone up by 40% and labor also 80%, and the overhead or total cost is expected to remain same. The proportion of overhead remains same. Okay, so first we come to cost of replacement of old plant. So it is given material 24 lakhs and thereafter 5/10 is the proportion, and thereafter 140% increment, so 140/100, so it comes to 16,80,000. For labor it is 24 lakhs into 3/10 and it is gone up by 80%, therefore 180/100, that is 12,96,000. So these both two are added and it comes to 29,76,000. Now come to our overhead. Overhead is 29,76,000, that means the prime cost into 2/8, because if we consider the over material is to labor is to overhead equal to 5:3:2, so overhead by material and labor is 2 divided by 5 plus 3, that is 2/8. Okay, so that comes to 7,44,000 and total cost of replacement is 37,20,000. Okay, next, that is working number 2. Cost of improvement is 60 lakh, that is given, and old material used was 2,40,000, that also given in the problem. So total comes to 62 lakh 40,000. Here we deduct cost of replacement 37 lakh 20. So cost of improvement is 25 lakh 20,000. Therefore, this cost of improvement is considered as capitalized value, and therefore capitalized value is 25 lakh 20,000. So now we come to our last calculation, that is calculation number 4, that is total cost in cash 60 lakh, old material used 2 lakh 40,000, it becomes 62 lakh 40,000. From that, capitalized value is 25 lakh 20,000. So balance is 37 lakh 20, and thereafter we deduct old material used and sold 2 lakh 40 and 7 lakh 50 equal to 9 lakh 90. So amount written of revenue is 27 lakh 30,000. Okay. Next come to our accounting entries. First is amount incurred, expenses incurred, that is replacement account debit to bank 60 lakh. Thereafter come to old materials. Old material realized 9 lakh 90,000, that also shown in the calculation. Out of 9 lakh 90,000, 7 lakh 50,000 cost of material has been sold. The bank account debit 7 lakh 50,000, 2 lakh 40,000 utilized, and thereafter it comes to old materials account 9 lakh 90,000. Now come to our capitalized value. Capitalized value is 25 lakh 20,000. That calculation come to our calculation number 3, and thereafter calculation number 4, that is revenue account debit to replacement 27 lakh 30,000. Okay, that is calculation number 4. Okay, next come to the ledger also. Our plant account old balance was 24 lakh. Thereafter we incurred first bank account replacement account debit to bank, that is 60 lakhs, and thereafter we got the old materials account debit to replacement, that is 9 lakh 90,000. Out of 9 lakh 90,000, 7 lakh 50,000 has been sold and goes to replacement 2 lakh 40, that is our JV number, journal entry number 3. Okay, 7 lakh 50,000 and 2 lakh 40,000, and we have to go to replacement account 2 lakh 40,000. This 2 lakh 40,000 comes here. Okay, therefore we transferred 25 lakh 20,000 to our plant account, and lastly we charge to revenue 27 lakh 30,000. This is the completion of our problem number 2. Okay, next come to our problem number 3. This is our last problem. An electricity company laid down a main at a cost of rupees 5 lakhs. Some years later, the company laid down an auxiliary main 1/5 of the length of the old main at a cost of rupees 1,50,000. It also replaced the rest of the length of the old main at a cost of rupees 6 lakh. The cost of old material and the labor having gone up by 15%. Sale of old material realized 8,000. Old materials valued at 10,000 was used for renewal, and those values of rupees 5,000 were used for construction of auxiliary main. You are required to give journal entries and the ledger account recording the above transaction and the solution. Okay, so what is the speciality? That in the old plant, suppose there are, out of the total area, 1/5 area is new part, that is auxiliary main. A new main has been installed. Okay, this is the speciality of this problem. Next we come to cost of replacement of the old plant. Here point to be noted, an auxiliary main laid down for 1/5 of the length of the old main. So there are 1 minus 1/5, 4/5 part where the old main will be replaced. Okay, clear? So total expenditure is 5 lakhs old cost of old plant. Out of that 4/5 part we are taken, so it is expenses also proportioned at 4/5, and therefore that the expenditure has been incurred, or 15% has been gone up, the cost of expenses, materials and labor. Therefore 115 by 100, so cost of replacement is 4,60,000. Okay, next. There is the two part. One is cost of improvement and amount to be capitalized. The extension cost of auxiliary main 1,50,000 that is given, and value of own material use, that is 5,000. So total 1,55,000. And next come to improvement. Improvement means that old plant was reconstructed. Okay. Cost incurred of the old main is 6 lakhs, and value of the old material 10,000 has been utilized. Total expenses is, our total expenses is 6 lakh 10,000, and thereafter we deduct cost of replacement, that is already working number 1, 4,60,000, and therefore it comes to 1,50,000. So total capitalized value is 3,05,000. Next, amount written off from revenue. There are two expenditure, cost for auxiliary main and old main. Total is 7 lakh, 6 lakh and 1,50,000, that is 7,50,000. And therefore old material utilized for auxiliary main 5,000 and for main 10,000, total 15,000. So total expenses is 7,65,000. Out of that 3,05,000 has been capitalized. So value of old material used for renewal 10,000, used for auxiliary main 5,000, and sold 8,000, total 23,000. So amount charged to revenue is 4,37,000. Hope the working is clear to you. Okay, next. Here come to journal entries. First entry, expenses incurred. Here total expenses we have considered. Replacement account debit to bank 6 lakh and 1,50,000, that is 7,50,000. Therefore old material, total old material 23,000, 10,000, 5,000 plus 8,000, 23,000. Old material used and sold. Old material sold 8,000 and used for replacement 15,000. Therefore 23,000 is the total expenses. Thereafter capitalized value for main plant, that is 3,05,000 already considered, and that thereafter amount charged to revenue 4,37,000. Okay, thereafter come to our ledger. So in the ledger we know there we have a old main whose cost was rupees 5 lakhs, that is the balance BD. Thereafter we incurred 7,50,000 bank account replacement account debit to bank 7,50,000. Then there was a old material 23,000 has been realized, and out of that old material 8,000 we are realized through sale and 15,000 we realized. So bank to bank, by bank 8,000 and by replacement 10,000, 15,000. So these 15,000 come to replacement account also. Thereafter the amount capitalized and transferred to main account, that is 3,05,000 total, and thereafter at last we charge to revenue 4,37,000, that we shown in our calculation or working number 3. Okay, hope you understand the problem and theory part of replacement account. You may like and share this video who want to understand about or who get some idea regarding replacement account. Please comment in case of any query, and click the bell icon to get the notification of my next video. Thank you.